for the to manage the entire disaster? Is there a specific piece of it? Like, how does this integrate with other tools that they may use today? Are they going to have a bunch of different programs that are open, or do you want everything to kind of eventually flow into RescueSite?
It's a great question. So talking a little bit on the technical side, RescueSite, it is a self-contained software platform that we can deploy into either any AWS or Azure infrastructure. From there, the municipality can point what data sources it wants to automatically input. So not only will all of those insights be filtered through the platform, we also have the capability to export in whatever forms they're currently using. So whether that be PDF reports that get put into a centralized repository, or shape files that work with existing vector-based mapping software. All of those will have a link back to our page that allows them to delve into the details, but it integrates into their current workflows as well.
Can you tell me a little bit of what you know about the competition in this space? What are these providers currently using for disaster management?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are currently companies that do very small components of what we're trying to do, but there's nothing that provides the comprehensive kind of suite of disaster management that we provide. So there are companies, for example, that make 3D digital twins. For a very specific use case, there are companies that show where each personnel is and a fire engine, but there's nothing that basically integrates this multimodal source of data into one comprehensive platform so that everyone can be on the same page, which honestly in this day and age of AI and data analysis we thought was ridiculous, which is why we started RescueSite.
I don't have a microphone, so I'm going to share with you. I just wanted to dig in a little bit more on the technical side of your product solution. You call it a 3D digital twin, but then of the three formats that I saw video, drone, and then 3D mapping. So are you using LiDAR with drone, or like how are you doing the 3D mapping?
Absolutely, amazing question. So the drones can be any off-the-shelf drone, like this DJI Mavic 2, for example. Nearly 2/3 of federal teams already use these drones in their workflow. We just taken a RGB MP4, just a normal video, that basically scans a building, and within 5 to 10 minutes, we're able to convert that into a fully comprehensive 3D environment like you see right there. So that's done with our proprietary 2D to 3D algorithm.
Maybe just tell us a little bit about the business model. I know you said at-cost pilots, mentioned 100 agencies by 27. Tell us a little bit about how much you think they'll pay, data you have around that, et cetera.
Yeah, it's a great question. So these at-cost pilots are priced under the procurement thresholds. Just to give an example, some of our early pilots are being priced right around $10K. And then in terms of the kind of larger picture, our contracts are annual, over a 3-year period. And then the typical, we're looking around $125K per year in reoccurring revenue. And that is all being done at a blended margin of around 80%.
Everybody, please give them a hand. Thank you, thank you. You can exit this way. All right. So you can feel free to scan this QR code behind me. Don't forget to vote for the People's Choice Award. Thank you, everyone. So moving on to our next course in a little bit.
For me, for us.
Good? Okay, beautiful. Okay. Moving on to our next course. Many of us lead an always-on lifestyle. Under pressure from COVID, companies have learned to use technologies to enable employees to work remotely. Always on has indeed become ubiquitous, with apps for people, data for companies, artificial intelligence for decision-making, robotics for automation, and many, many more. Connected Life explores the use of technologies at the foundation of connectivity for people, communities, businesses, factories, and the environment. Each student will choose a team based upon their interests and knowledge. And each team will apply an always-on connectivity to an area to develop and test possible solutions, build prototypes, and develop a new business. Next up, we have Levitree. This team is making a one-stop shop for flood resilience. Please join me in welcoming Levitree to the stage.
Don't worry, guys, it's not real. Though there's not a tsunami alert every day, flooding is becoming much more common. This is in part because flood consultants take too long and are too expensive, and their solutions take too long and are too expensive. These delays cause people to lose their homes and livelihoods. To fix this, we've created a one-stop shop for flood resilience. We guide customers on a journey that starts with a custom-generated flood report, continues through adaptation software that lets them see their options and the relative costs, and finally, the first affordable solution of their flood problems, biomass elevation. This is a low-cost flood prevention method where contractors inject wood slurries underground to lift a property out of its flood risk. This is what it looks like at our permanent pilot site. This uses over 3 orders of magnitude less energy than direct air capture, so you can afford to power most of it off battery electric, even our new injection robot you see in the upper right. This technology is really a paradigm shift for flood prevention. Instead of projects being these giant upfront capital expenses driven by speculation about sea level rise and subsidence, we're making flood protection a predictable maintenance expense. You can elevate a home or a highway 3 feet 1 year and 1 inch every year after that to keep up with the rising seas. You get immediate incremental flood protection with no interruption of service instead of long completion and compaction times where there is, really no protection until the end. What's more, this is about 1/10 the cost of seawalls and dramatically cheaper than even fill, as wood chips are free delivered and require just 1/8 the truck traffic. We've optimized the workflows for this at every step. Our resilient software generates 3D hydrological models in near real time instead of up to a year of consulting. We've removed most of the geotechnical difficulty from planning by having a machine learning model generate our injection plans based on a desired topography, which we can then import into our control system where it can be run over the cloud or on autopilot, all while tracking the carbon sequestration data. Flood prevention is the single largest untapped market, and the reason is because up until now it had no efficacious solutions. It's also the lowest cost way to sequester carbon. We started by writing some lucky patents and were then incubated by Berkeley Pad 13. We also just joined Bakar Climate Labs this week. We now have a host of people hoping to use this technology, and we're currently training contractors to go fulfill those jobs. This includes whole city projects like one we're working on with the University of Indonesia and the government of Jakarta called Jakarta Rising. We get asked a lot why now, and the answer is financial synergy. The tens of billions of federal flood prevention grants alongside the carbon market's ability to bring in international financing to fund local flood protection projects makes our solution extremely compelling. This is our leadership team. Tripp founded MBA Polymers in Berkeley, which raised a couple $100 million to bring plastic recycling technology to the world. I worked at SpaceX and co-worked at Caltech on AI robotics, and we recently welcomed Professor Christina Hill to our board, who brings a wealth of hydrology and also city planning knowledge. I'd like to give a special shout out to my Connected Life team, who did heaps of customer interviews and built the generative flood report tool, especially rock stars like Abby, Adve, and Sid. We are currently hiring. If you know any more rock stars, we are raising a seed round. We have $3.2 million committed and are raising a total of 5. Thank you, and let me know if you have any questions.
Hi, good to see you again.
You too.
Tell me a little bit more about your business model. I think it's evolved a little bit since you came through Pad 13. But so currently you're selling the wood slurry, but also is there a recurring component to your business model? Like, are you the AI generated reports? Is that what are the unit economics and what is the model currently?
Yeah, we've done a little pivot since Pad 13 to something frankly more venture financeable. So what we're doing is basically a big sales funnel into the final flood projects, which are done by contractors now instead of us trying to be a contractor. So we're working with contractors as licensees who go and perform these projects. They are going to go and do recurring projects. They're also going to be doing projects on maintenance budgets where it'll be innately recurring, like highway projects will be innately recurring. The unit economics vary by the project type. You have various price points for elevation, but the carbon credit revenue is consistent and the same for each.
Got it. Thank you.
Can you tell me more about your customers and how you're acquiring them?
Yeah, so our actual customers are really the contractors and the carbon credit customers. The customers of the contractors are, up to, we have great support from Caltrans, for example, as well. And everything from the current low-hanging fruit that we're going after, which is private landowners. We're working on a, 200-unit housing development in Santa Fe, for example, to, big highway projects, which have really the highest price points.
Sorry, just to clarify that, do you need to educate the contractors on and have the contractors sell this to the highway, the orchard, the whatever, or are you actually selling to the orchard, but then they're paying the contractors?
We don't do much direct selling, but our software tools are really a sales funnel. So having these 3D hydrological models and frankly LLM generated flood reports free and online and easy to use is a great way to get inbound customers. Then you go a step further with the adaptation software, it gets them further in. They have an actual plan that they can go after at the end with contractors. And so some customers will come through that. We expect many others will come from the contractors and engineering firms that we've already worked with, and that will be recurring.
What's been your average sales cycle for acquiring a customer?
Yeah, so we've sold carbon credits. We have not actually done a full elevation project. We've only been doing the pilot project. We have a long list of customers we've been talking to. We have had various sales cycles depending on the customer type. For example, we've had tons of inbound interest even in stealth mode with wetland banking, which sounds crazy, but wetlands are worth almost $1 million an acre in the Bay Area, so it's a surprisingly efficacious business. And they come to us, they're ready to go almost immediately. We had a $5 million project with Westervelt, which wanted to start in Q1 of 2025. Which would have been really hard for us to ramp up to. But in general, it's super dependent on how big of a deal what you're elevating is. So with Caltrans, for example, Caltrans needs to see us do some smaller roadways before we tackle Highway 37. But with things that don't have structures on top, like wetlands, it's not as big of a deal, and they just care about the net and elevation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Levitree. That siren definitely scared me a little bit, I'm not going to lie. Okay, so our next pitch is coming from the event that we hosted called the At-Large Bid. Did anyone attend the At-Large Bid? Raise your hands. Thank you so much for attending. So oftentimes, classes find themselves in the difficult position where there's so many good teams, but there's only one spot for the Collider Cup. This next team comes at our At-Large Bid event. Also, remember to vote for the People's Choice Award here. But I will describe what the At-Large event is. Our next team comes from our At-Large Bid event, hosted this past Wednesday to give teams from all classes another chance to compete at today's event. Through popular vote, this team, TradeMatch, won over the attendees of our At-Large Bid event. TradeMatch is creating a hiring platform for trade careers. Without further ado, let's introduce TradeMatch.
Hey everyone, we're TradeMatch, the hiring platform for the trades. Here's a problem. Let's say your toilet breaks. You need a plumber now, but more often than not, they can't come now. They probably can't come today. Maybe they come tomorrow. The reason why this problem exists is because the trade industry can't fill jobs. There's so much unmet need. Now, 66% of trades businesses say that they can't find the workers they need to scale their business. And at the same time, 46% of American families are just searching for alternatives to the traditional four-year education model where you pay $200,000 with no guaranteed job prospects. And these students are realizing that the trades are the place to be, the place where you can make $200 an hour and be in demand all the time. In fact, student enrollment jumped by 16% in trades colleges just last year, the highest it's been in 5 years. This is really our opportunity.
Presenting TradeMatch. TradeMatch is a hiring platform that helps trades businesses find skilled tradespeople to employ. So here we can see the talent pool of electricians and plumbers that we have on the left, and TradeMatch will serve as a hiring platform that connects these electricians and plumbers with the electrician and plumbing companies. And here we also have our current front-end MVP, which we are still working on. Moving on to our market analysis, our goal is to capture 3% of the US market by year 5, which is equivalent to 60,000 users or $60 million in revenue.
For our go-to-market strategy, first we want to recruit from trade schools and also the existing pool of licensed trade workers to build our initial user base. Second, we want to focus on the electrical and plumbing businesses, and we want to launch in the Bay Area, specifically to small and medium-sized businesses, because we know that they're the ones who are more likely to train and retain their employees. Third, we want to tap into the immigrant communities for skilled workers who are looking for jobs and make our platform very accessible for them to use. Moving on to competitor analysis, in comparison to Indeed and other recruiting agencies, we are the most low cost, we're trades focused, our revenue is through subscription, and it's also immigrant community focused.
We know that we're a company that thrives on network effects. That's why we plan to offer an initial free trial and then move businesses into a tiered monthly and yearly subscription. On the consumer side, professionals will not have to pay to access job listings on our platform.
To talk a little bit about our traction, TradeMatch is validated. In fact, we've participated in the UC Berkeley Method of Entrepreneurship Bootcamp, where we emerged one of the winners. We've also talked to industry professionals and trades workers and found that the status quo isn't working out for these small to medium-sized businesses. To talk a little bit about where we see ourselves going, we plan to expand throughout California after launching in the Bay Area, and then go to hotspots where there's a high demand but a low volume of workers.
We're a team with backgrounds in product, business, and engineering. We are TradeMatch, the hiring platform for the trades. Thank you.
If I can start, one of the things I'm trying to clarify, so your ideal customer is really just the SMBs, right? And they're looking for long-term full-time hires, or they're looking for kind of freelance, like one-off jobs?
Yeah, so our primary business is in the B2B realm, so we're working specifically with the companies. Yeah.
Maybe put a finer point on that. How small or how big might these companies be? And then is there a specific trade that you're going to start with, or yeah?
Or I guess, yeah. So specifically, we're starting with the plumbing and electrician industries. We identified those as being the ones with the most need right now and the highest potential. But the reason why we're starting with the smaller to medium-sized businesses is because the larger businesses are a lot of times contracted with unions. And so we really want to start with these small to medium-sized businesses like the family, like mom and pop shops who are looking for long-term work, because that's really the primary goal of TradeMatch, to provide long-term work that's more stable for the professionals rather than those contractual, once a month, unpredictable work.
But how many people are those? Are they hiring with enough velocity, like enough kind of volume to have a platform like this that they have an ongoing relationship with?
Yeah, so the way that we see it is by having our initial free trial. We're big proponents of letting people try out our site, but then after that, I think that they'll find that they really want to continue ramping up our business, or their business. As we identified, the industry is at a point right now where there's just so much unmet need that they can't fulfill enough of their customers, right? And so we've spent the last 4 months talking to a lot of industry professionals, a lot of people on the street, and we found that these people want to continue ramping up their business if they're able to meet their customers' needs.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your technology platform and what differentiates you from other platforms?
Yeah, for sure. So TradeMatch is basically a hiring platform, and we're like the segue in the middle that connects these tradespeople with the trades businesses. And what sets us apart is that eventually, later on, we'll implement free resources where we can also help these professionals with gain more attempts in the industry. And we also aim to allow it to be seamless so that we're also pretty transparent with the trades businesses. And they will have like an industry trends where they could see and visualize the data.
Do we have time for a quick question? So I just want to clarify, because I'm still a little bit unclear. Are you competing with Thumbtack? Because it sounds like you mentioned that you're targeting SMBs that are looking for kind of full-time hires that might be plumbers, electricians, et cetera. But if these small, medium-sized businesses, do they really need a full-time electrician? Or give me an example of the type of company you'd be targeting.
Yeah, so we can go back to our competitor analysis slide too, which was maybe answering another part. But yeah, I think that these small, for example, these mom and pop businesses, it's a lot of word of mouth based communication on who their customers are. Maybe it's in their neighborhood, that type of thing. And I mean, every house has a toilet, every house needs electricity. So these businesses, these mom and pop businesses, are really finding continual work. But in terms of our competitor analysis and what differentiates us based, compared to like Thumbtack and Indeed and stuff like that, we're the only one that's really focused on our go-to-market strategies, which are focused on immigrant communities, focused on a subscription revenue-based model, and also specifically focused on the trades industry.
Thank you so much. Please give it up for our
Thank you.
Thank you. May I give this to you as well? Thank you. Okay, and everybody, quick reminder to scan the QR code. Also, you can refresh the same tab that is already open to just refresh the data and do it that way. I'll give you a couple of moments to do that, and then I will continue with our next course. All right. Most people are wantrepreneurs. They come up with great ideas, talk about them, but never take the next step to launch. While ideas and planning are crucial, execution is the key to startup success. In this course, students will learn the essential skills to move beyond just thinking about their startup and actually bringing it to life. The product launch decal teaches students how to quickly and efficiently launch a product. Over 14 weeks, students develop, market, and grow their products. Shout out to Super for launching this brand new decal. Next up, we have InstaTrain VR. This team made a virtual reality platform that transforms hotel staff training from taking weeks to only hours. Please join me in welcoming InstaTrain VR to the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ashwin Joshi, and our company is InstaTrain VR. Having worked every hotel position from housekeeping to front desk and interviewing 100 hotel professionals, I've validated that traditional hotel employee training is broken, leaving a devastating impact on hotels both operationally and financially. With a 74% annual turnover rate, hospitality industry quits 204% above the national average, and average $1,420 training costs per new hire. Hotel owners are desperately looking for solutions to transform their training systems, and this is where InstaTrain VR enters the picture. With our patent-pending VR platform, a new employee puts on a MetaQuest 3 headset and is instantly transported to a fully operational virtual hotel. In this hotel, no more training videos, no more shadowing. They choose a structured training program, so say front desk, and they'll be checking in guests, making reservations, engaging in dialogues with AI guest avatars, all being trained in a fraction of the time while cutting costs by 90% for these hotel owners. And the market is already validating our solution. With users who absolutely love our product, 165K in LOIs, and the backing of one of the top hospitality groups in the West. Now let me introduce you to the brilliant team who's driving this innovation. My co-founder Amit has 23 years of experience in IT, with the last 10 being towards developing VR, AR, XR solutions. He was a senior member of Strumsoft that was acquired by publicly traded Synchronous Technologies. And then there's our two national hospitality leaders who've backed us. Taran's bringing his experience as the regional director of the world's largest hotelier association, and Dipin has not only invested in hotels, but through his investment firm has backed Impossible Foods, Palantir, and now us as the youngest stage company in their portfolio's history. With their team's complementary strengths, our AI-driven content approach, a hybrid mix of desktop and headset VR, alongside a partnership with Redstone and Meta supported status, which allows for seamless distribution through reduced headset pricing and our software pre-installed. We're confident in getting 250 properties by year 1, scaling to 4,000 properties by year 3, with a focus on IHG properties and Marriott properties. And with a tiered pricing model starting at $799 per month, 1 to 50 rooms, to $2,499 per month, 151 plus rooms, we're looking at a $12.5 billion plus total addressable market. We're building a hospitality metaverse here. We're going to resorts, cruise lines, restaurants, ushering a new era of hospitality training. Thank you so much.
I think the use cases for VR training is abundant. Can you tell me a little bit more about how you chose hospitality training in particular to start with?
Yeah, so at 16, 2 years ago, I wanted to have this interest in hotels. So I like reached out to different executives, got an internship that summer working every hotel position from housekeeping to front desk, maintenance. I got to see my fellow colleagues frustrated and angry by this rush training as they're having to shadow and watch these training videos, and it's just not effective, and it doesn't prepare them in a systemized manner. And I've always had a deep love for hospitality, and when I identified this problem when working, and then did my 100 interviews and saw this was a much bigger problem, an industry-wide crisis, I knew this was an area that needed focus, and we were going to be the first deep hospitality VR company to do so.
Can you elaborate a little bit? How much of your startup is more of a content play versus a content, like a hardware play? Because it sounds like you're selling, you're kind of focused on the distribution of the VR headset, but in actuality, what you're providing is the actual content for the VR training. Is that correct?
Yes, we're the software company, but we've partnered with this, so we're an end-to-end platform because we want easy distribution. We want the software pre-installed. The headsets is just a nice plus to make our customers love our product. The focus is on the software.
And so just to be clear, so are you doing white labeling of content so that, like, if you have Marriott and Hyatt both as customers, they can basically create their own versions of hotel training, or are they all buying into the same kind of the same content?
This is why now is the perfect time for this. With large language models, we're able to integrate these companies' extensive 100+ page documents and be able to create those scenarios and work with them so that we offer the most accurate training.
Tell us a little bit about the relationship with Redstone that you mentioned.
Yeah, so this is one of the biggest authorized resellers of Meta. So they've given us reduced headset pricing, and they're also pre-installing our software. So, it's always those things, don't do things that don't scale. We are focusing on that customer experience and making sure this is as accessible to all hoteliers.
Will they buy a large number of headsets, and then when they have training cohorts, or they'll have a handful, and then someone comes in, they sign on, they give them the headset to take home? Where will this take place?
So a client will sign on board, and then we'll reach out to Redstone. Redstone will send the two, let's say it's 1 to 50 rooms, we'll send maybe 2 VR headsets, then they'll send it over, and the software will be pre-installed ready for them to onboard.
When the hotels are bringing on new workers, they're giving them, and they say, your training program's at home, do it all by Monday?
No, they'll do it in the workplace, and they'll choose either the VR headset if they're comfortable with that, or the desktop.
Have any of these hotel chains currently piloted your software?
We're in advanced discussions with ISG and Marriott currently. I can't reveal too much, but it's very promising. Thank you so much, everyone. Really appreciate the time.
Okay, we'll give you a couple minutes to vote in the People's Choice Award. You can also refresh the page if you want to input the data in again. And then after this, we'll have a 10-minute break, so feel free to socialize, meet your fellow attendees, and we'll be back in 10 minutes at 3 o'clock.
Hello.
Here, there's enough light, but if you stand back here, there's nothing.
Okay, guys, can everyone start sitting down? Oh, okay. Can everyone start sitting down? Help get everyone sit down. Help everyone.
All right, can everyone please take your seats? We're going to get started. If you have an empty chair next to you, can you raise your hand? If you have empty seats.
With anyone with an empty seat next to them, can they please raise their hand? Anyone with an empty seat next to them, can they please raise their hand? Empty seat, empty seat. Anyone have an empty seat next to them? Please raise your hand. Okay, if anyone is sitting in the back, there's a couple people with empty seats that are raising their hand. You guys can sit down next to them. Great. Thank you, guys. Hopefully you had a nice break. The next course we have is Tech Entrepreneurship. Tech Entrepreneurship explores high technology and key entrepreneurial concepts relevant to the high technology world. Topics include entrepreneurial perspectives, startup strategies, business idea evaluation, and several other skills. From this course, we have Recharged. This team is breaking the barriers to accelerate electrical vehicle adoption. Let's give it up for Recharge.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Jason and I'm the CEO and founder of Recharged. Before coming to Berkeley as a graduate student, I spent working 3 years at Tesla as a battery engineer. And during those times, people always wondered and asked me, hey Jason, do you own a Tesla then? The answer is no. I do not own a Tesla because I live in apartments. And I find it a huge hassle that I have to travel long hauls to find public chargers simply just to charge my car. That's where the idea of Recharge was first born, and our goal is to accelerate break barriers to accelerate EV adoption. Current EV adoption is slow, as half of the US adults and 90% of apartment renters, like myself, do not want to buy an EV because of limited charging infrastructure. On the other hand, homeowners mentioned that they only use their home chargers once or twice per week. Leaving 5 out of the 7 days, many home chargers are sitting idle. So instead of traveling long distances, spending long times, and also spending money, a lot of money, just to simply charge your EV, Recharge offers a mobile app solution that helps to connect these two marketplaces. EV users, particularly those who live in apartments, to nearby home chargers, making charging more accessible within walking distances. Our mobile solutions offers convenient and accessible EV charging. We're also leveraging low energy price from utility for home chargers relative to superchargers, allowing opportunity for homeowners to convert their home chargers from a depreciated value to an investment by lending it to the network. So if you're a homeowner who wants to be our host, you can use the app to set location and available times, and then you can set charging specs and instructions, and you can accept or deny incoming requests as you please. On the other hand, if you're an EV user looking for a place to charge, you can go to our app, select your location, book a time slot, and you will receive charging and parking instructions from the host. So very similar to an Airbnb model. The current US total addressable market is approximately $7.8 billion based on our projections. There are 40 million apartment renters in the US, where 3 million of those comes from Florida, which will be our initial target beachhead. We'll be using a kilowatt-hour based pricing, where hosts have the flexibility to adjust to set the price to their consumers based on their utility costs. We're estimating that charge price to be around $30 for a full charge, which will be distributed among utility, hosts, and Recharge ourselves. Current competitors are focusing mainly on commercial hosts, and they require commercial hosts to have large charging units to be eligible. But Recharge, we're focusing on residential homeowners, and we do not need them to have large charging units. Simply owning a 220-volt plug will be sufficient enough to make you as our host. This is our team, comprising of 5 different individuals from various parts of the world. We have strong technical backgrounds in engineering, banking, and consulting, and we're ready to build good products through Recharge for the society. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, sure. Do you want to talk about the competition? Yeah, so PlugShare, we have PlugShare, which is a peer-to-peer network like ourselves, but they're focusing mainly on commercial private hosts. So for example, if you have an office, that's where PlugShare is going to appoint you to. So the residential area is not being tapped yet. As for EVMatch and JuiceUp, they do commercial and also residential hosts, but I would say like 90% of their, if you look at their map, it's 90% commercial. So there's very little residential homeowners in EVMatch. And JuiceUp is basically doing the same as EVMatch, but it's based on the UK.
And are you concerned at all about the number of EV companies that are kind of rolling out to apartment and multifamily unit buildings? Because ultimately, if they're kind of go to market faster, then that increases your market severely.
Right, so I think it falls to the partnership slides. We plan to partner with like EV manufacturers that are not Tesla, because I think, Luqman, you want to talk about this more?
Just before you add, Luqman, there's one also other point is that we're offering this solution at which will be like more convenient, less expensive options for those homeowners compared to those expensive boxes. And in the partnership, maybe.
Yeah, so currently right now, we know Tesla is the leading charging infrastructure. However, there's other players that are trying to gain, markets into the slice, right? So right now, what we're trying to do is partner up with them and saying, hey, we're going to solve your infrastructure issue so that you can roll out more, sales of EVs. So that's our plan for.
Can you talk to us about the technical integration necessary here? I have an EV, I have the app, I see that somebody nearby, I want to plug it in, I see the pricing and all that. Are you actually going to be integrated with the charger at their house so you know exactly how much juice I'm using, and what does that integration look like? And
Yeah, so I think we won't be integrating directly to the chargers, so they can basically set their own rates on their own because they know their chargers best and they know how much their chargers going to cost their utility. So they will post that in the app.
So I guess maybe just walk me through the entire user experience then. I say I want to go there on the app. I they have their garage door code in the app as well.
Right.
I go in, or as a homeowner, I have to be there and say, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you. Please charge your thing." Like, yeah, tell us about the user experience.
If you can go to the slide,
I
that's
didn't-
close. I think there are so many solutions that are available in the market, and it's simply you just avail a plug or a box, whichever is easier for you to avail. There are options to have these things sticking out of the garage, so people don't go and interrupt your facility, or if you're not convenient with people going into your garage. And there are cheaper solutions also for the users at lower cost compared to these complex boxes that can be integrated as part of the solution. Like they can look at with a simple lock with code, or they can use more advanced solutions with passcodes that can be varying every now and then. And they can also avail like the portable charger that could be integrated in terms of the reading with the app.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, keep it. And in a couple of moments, you'll see that QR code again. Please scan her. There we go. Take a moment to scan this QR code very briefly, and I will get into our next course shortly. All right, I am going to continue onward with our next course of the afternoon. Today's world moves fast, and startups must move faster. Whether students just finished a Challenge Lab course, created a prototype, or took our Berkeley Method of Entrepreneurship bootcamp, Startup Catalyst is designed to help students build momentum, refine their strategy, and navigate the complexities of turning ideas into impactful ventures. In this hands-on, project-based course, students join a collaborative environment where their startup's unique challenges become the foundation of their learning. Guided by an experienced lead instructor and supported by peer feedback, industry speakers, and mentors, students explore real-world startup problems and work towards actionable solutions. Next up, we have One Village. This team is making it easier to share, earn, and connect. Please join me in welcoming One Village to the stage.
Someone close by has something you need. Meet Marsa. Marsa has a date in 3 hours, and on his mind is where is he going to get an iron to press his shirt and impress. What Marsa doesn't know is that in the girls' hostel just down the block, Sarah actually has exactly what he needs, but she's busy thinking about where she's going to get the speaker and the DJing set for a friend's birthday party this night, which Marsa just happens to have. The bottom line here is that someone close by has something you need, and it's sitting around most of the time. Now, this particular problem that I shared is not particularly unique to these two individuals. In fact, in Africa, 22 million youth actually face this particular problem. And One Village is going to be the first trust-centered platform that facilitates the sharing of personal assets between college students and young professionals. Now, the real secret here is that we really build this platform for ourselves. After recognizing that in International House, almost every day someone always needed something from someone else, we decided to build a proof of concept, and in just a few weeks of launching, we have close to 100 users. And these are some of the things that our users tell us. Number one, our platform saves them money and saves them time. And for the people who are lending, it makes them money, and it allows them to effortlessly get to reach some people that could otherwise never get to benefit from their personal assets. And we give them freedom on top of that. Now, you might ask, what exactly is One Village? One Village is more than just a technology platform that is allowing people to seamlessly share what they own. It is a movement to save the planet. And it is also an opportunity for people to get for the first time to share the resources they have for the maximum value. Now, these are some of the competitors that already exist in the market, like Fertlama, Peerbuy, and Facebook Marketplace, but they fail at the core metrics. The most important thing in this particular market is trust, and we got that covered. We also are good in terms of location because we're penetrating into the African market. We have simplified logistics, simplified payment methods, and we have a value-driven rental. So any person who's renting on our platform actually gets to know how much money they'll get to make from renting out their assets and know how much they're positively impacting the planet. In case you missed it the first time, trust is the center. We've implemented verified communities. We have security deposit, microinsurance, plus user reviews that makes people trust the other people that they're working with on the platform. For our business model, we have a 15% commission on individual-to-individual rentals, 10% commission on rental stores that participate, and our main costs are actually platform development and marketing. This is a very rough, simplified estimation of our market. It's a $2.94 billion market with a very small 10% penetration margin. From here, we move to Ashesi with 2,000 students. From there, we go to the most popular university in Ghana with 61,000 students. By next year, in June, we can get to reach 100,000 users. And by the third year, we can be able to break even. So this is our journey and our roadmap, and we have a very powerful team with a core in engineering and marketing. Are you ready to join One Village?
Well, you're a great presenter. It was a little bit hard to keep up with everything that you were trying to say at the end. But can you tell me a little bit more about how this growth plan in Africa specifically, how how you're engaging your partners, and who you're selling to?
So we're starting off with college students. And the plan is very simple. We start off by engaging these students where they are the most, which is through WhatsApp platform. Actually, we built an MVP through WhatsApp before we actually built the platform, and we were able to reach 100 users out of 600 students in International House. We hope to replicate this model in the universities that we're targeting. We're very deliberate in targeting college campuses because we have all our customers centralized in one place.
So sorry, are you selling to the universities?
So we are the students themselves.
The students,
yes.
Okay, so okay, B2C.
Yes, so the students themselves are the users that are on our platform.
Maybe one level deeper, to unpack again the pricing of I have something that I can rent out. I can set the price for it,
yes.
or I can make it free, or
yes.
it's totally up to me.
Yes.
Yeah, but you'll do some price intelligence and stuff like
yes. We actually have an algorithm that can also help you kind of see the best price for your asset. We call it RAVA, or the real-time asset valuation algorithm. And you could get to use our prescription, which tells you the best price for your asset, or you could decide to de facto and put your own price.
So in your experiment at iHouse, can you tell us a little bit more about the data you saw? What were traditionally the types of personal assets that were being loaned or borrowed? So and what is your hypothesis about, like, if you roll out within year 1 or 2, what are the most likely assets that you'll see? Yeah, what would be the most frequently traded? Okay,
so I'll give you an example from last night. So someone wanted to get to rent out, number one, they had a couple of sporting equipment, and they also had a couple of tools that they had. And because they were an international student, they bought all of these things here. And now they're trying to rent them out, in quotes, perpetually, because they will have to eventually move out of International House. And so what we've realized is that the core problem is that people get to move around, but they don't have the capacity to carry all the assets they need. And so any person who, you might be moving to a college in a different city, or you might have assets at their end of life. The main aspect that makes this so attractive for students is that for the first time they get the freedom to get to move without having to worry about what they have to carry, and they can get to access the assets that are being provided by other people within their community.
And if we have time, a quick follow-up on the microinsurance. I mean,
yes.
I haven't really heard of microinsurance on small personal assets. So how does that work, and what does it cost to be insured?
Right. So for the microinsurance, the main strategy is partnering with the insurance providers in Ghana. We've already initiated some conversations with them. But typically what it is in the background is that we're insuring all the assets that we have on the platform. And what that allows us to do is that for a short period in time, we can get to guarantee to a person who is making use of our platform that in the case that something happens wrong, which is very rare because of all the other features that I spoke about, in the case that that happens, we can get to guarantee you that you can get your asset back. Thank you.
Okay, so we're on to the final pitch for today. This comes from the Berkeley Method of Entrepreneurship Bootcamp. This is not like a traditional course here at SCET. And while I describe this course, please vote for the People's Choice Award behind me. The Berkeley Method of Entrepreneurship Bootcamp is an intense 4.5-day venture workshop held here at UC Berkeley. Typically offered the week before the fall and spring semesters, the bootcamp is comprised of UC Berkeley students, global participants, and working professionals wishing to learn about entrepreneurship, innovation skills, and gain experience with building new ventures with interdisciplinary teams from around the world. From the Berkeley Method of Entrepreneurship course, we have Bioject. Bioject is making medical injections safer and sustainable with self-dissolving biodegradable needles. Let's give it up for Bioject.
Hello everyone, my name is Mahita Galpuri and I'm the CEO of Bioject. And we make biodegradable solutions. And today we're presenting to you a biodegradable needle. In the time it took me to just introduce myself, 12,000 non-biodegradable needles are scattered across this planet in the way of harming everyone that lives here.
In fact, 75 million pounds of these needles end up in landfill for hundreds or even thousands of years, create a biohazard problem. Imagine you or your loved one step on one of these. What could happen? We need to create a bio-friendly solution to solve this problem, introducing Bioject.
And we have the team that can make it happen with students from the #1 public university in the country, from students in biomedical engineering, pre-med, data science, molecular and cell biology, business administration, and chemical engineering. We have the dream team to make this happen. And the product that we're making here is comprised of 2 main ingredients. We have ingredients that are both medical grade and biodegradable. What these are is starch and polylactic acid. And utilizing these, we are going to use additive reagents so that we can comprehensively combine them. Our #1 way that we want to focus on making these needles is through injection needles, as they're our main priority.
Our competitors are Nipro, BD, Teramu, and PharmaJet. However, none of these competitors create biodegradable needles, so that's where we, Bioject, stand out, as we have biodegradable needles.
In terms of the market size, the total addressable market produces around $7 billion a year in revenue, trickling down to California, our service obtainable market, producing around $215 million a year in revenue, which equates to around 1 billion needles per year, assuming that each needle costs around 20 cents, keeping in mind the 10% compound annual growth rate.
Our roadmap is a 7-year plan. The first 3 years is conducting R&D clinical trials. We are in the process of getting a provisional patent and getting FDA approval. The next 4 years is launching our product. We have connections with USCSF and Kaiser Permanente. And from onwards, we are hoping to diversify our product line.
To make this dream come true, we actually partner with Bioject, who is specialized in biomedical devices. Our mentor, also the CEO of the companies, also join us in this journey. In addition to Dr. Fang, here's our mentor as well.
Taking a look at the financial projections, so the first 3 years we're going to conduct R&D and trials, specifically in Australia because they provide us a 43.5% cash rebate. In the 4th year, we're going to launch our product, first starting in California, targeting 1.5% of hospitals and clinics. Our 3rd year post-launch, we hope to break even and see exponential growth after that. Our ask today is $1 million to reach our 1-year milestone, mainly for R&D to develop our MVP and also create patents and an MOU as we understand the importance of that in terms of medical devices. So please join us in our journey, make our world safer, cleaner, and better. Thank you.
I really liked your articulation of the 7-year roadmap. Can you tell me a little bit more about the first 3 years and the clinical trials you're planning to conduct?
Yeah, definitely. So in the clinical trials, we are hoping to have biodegrading tests with soil. We are hoping to also get trials with diabetes patients and see how well it injects into diabetes patients as well. We are also hoping to get some mice model studies as well. So those are the first clinical trials for a 3-year plan.
Maybe even actually going before that, talk to us about the risks in this first R&D phase of like actually making a biodegradable needle. Like what do you, if you're 2 years from now and you're like, oh my gosh, it just didn't work, we couldn't make it happen, why might that be?
I can take this question. Thank you for asking. Well, In anything science related, obviously these small little changes cause a big impact, and maybe sometimes they don't work. The reason we're not really concerned about risks at this point is because there's multiple different biodegradable products that we use currently. For example, sutures. They're made with the same PLA or polylactic acid we want to work. If they can hold your entire body, something that penetrates into your skin for a second, we have firm belief that we can make it happen with chemical engineering expertise and bringing on advisors who are able to further refine that development. So risks are definitely going to be present, but we have strong ways to look through those.
I'm just trying to think through, like, tell us a little bit more about some of the, I guess, the materials, the material science behind what you're trying to build, because obviously durability is a big question for needles, right? It's a little bit different from like the suture thread because that can easily be flexible, but for a needle you actually need it to be actually the strength of it, and it has to, like, you know, be heat resistant and humidity resistant. So how, yeah, tell me a little bit more about what your plans are.
Definitely. Thank you for asking that as well. For another example that I can provide you, because sutures definitely, the flexibility is a big thing. Something related to heat and temperature that you were talking about is cardiovascular stents, and those are made with magnesium, which is very similar in composition to PLA or polylactic acid as well. And so that ability to hold on to heat is something that we're able to do with polylactic acid and starch as well. And in terms of durability, why we want to use additive reagents is so that we can properly combine these two products together so that they're able to make our final MVP, hopefully within our first year.
You went through a competition slide, but none of those companies actually make biodegradable needles. Why?
Yes. So the reason why there hasn't been a current needle on the market that's commercially biodegradable is because of how different types of solutions have been used before. Some have been trying to make it with seaweed. Some have tried to make it with different forms of PLA or polylactic acid that's much more unresilient. But then the fact with what this is that as students, we're ingenuitive and we're innovative. And so coming through different studies that have been done and patents that have been placed on this product itself, we realized the issue was that they weren't able to treat starch initially. And so running through those tests and looking at publications, we were able to find the reason for that. And so treating it with oligosaccharides and other forms of thermoplastic acids, we're able to make it rigid and actually functional. And so our R&D is really where we're going to be able to test this and ensure that we have something valuable.
Thank you.
Also, shout out to Sam for doing the timing. Everyone clap. Yay! Okay. All right, and one final reminder to scan this QR code. You can also refresh the same tab on your phones, and we will continue momentarily. Good job, Sam. All right. And with that, everyone, we have concluded the pitch portion of today's event. I am going to now send off the judges for deliberations. And while they deliberate, let's talk about the awards of some of the teams who presented and what they will be receiving. Once again, the first place winners will be receiving entry to Skydeck Pad 13, an interview with Alchemist Accelerator, and an interview with Pear VC for the chance to receive a $25,000 uncapped safe investment. And our second and third place winners will receive professional development sessions and professional headshots.
Now it's time for our final round of People's Choice voting. Yes. So this is different from all the live polling that we've done today. This is, so you guys have all heard all the pitches, and now you can rank your top 3 pitches. So I'll give you a couple seconds to do that right now.
Yes. Okay,
All these pitches were truly outstanding. Across a diverse group of students, everyone came together in the SCET class to collaborate and turn their visions into reality. Let's give a big round of applause to the students, coordinators, and professors in cohort 15 of SCET. You all contributed to creating an environment that made these amazing pitches possible. This could be you. We'd love to pass it off to Jue, who will now discuss the certificate requirements and elaborate on the classes that made these pitches possible today.
Great, thank you so much. Let's give another round of applause for all of those that presented today. That was amazing. So I'm here to talk a little bit about our spring classes. As a lot of you may know who have tried to enroll, a lot of them are already full. But this is also kind of a preview of what you'll see next Collider Cup. All of our classes, how many of you have obtained the certificate from SCET or are trying to? Excellent, awesome. And actually, if there's any spring instructors, do you mind standing up so students can identify you? Gail Gannon, I know, is here. Gert Christian as well. So feel free to chat with them during the networking portion of the program afterwards to learn more about the courses that they're teaching in the spring. So the Certificate of Entrepreneurship and Technology, there are 3 ways that students can get it. The most common way is through the coursework track. Students need to take the A. Richard Newton lecture series, which is Tuesdays from 5 to 6:30, and then 5 units of our courses. So not 5 classes, 5 units. And you can take it in any way, shape, or form. Our decal classes also count towards that as well. And so any of the classes, and you can take it at any time during your Berkeley career. We are open to students from first years all the way to PhD students. Those of you who have not taken our classes, it's a really great way to meet people outside of your major. If you wanted to dabble in entrepreneurship, all of our classes are, again, open to anybody who's interested in being a part of the entrepreneurial journey. The second way is through the startup track. And so the startup track is 4 units rather than the 5 for the coursework track. But it needs to be at a true startup. And so if you are interning at a startup, if you plan to intern at a startup and you want to use this, that experience towards the certificate, email me ahead of time with all of the details that we ask on our website. And the reason for that is, as anybody who's been in a startup or been a founder, everything changes very quickly. So the experience of being in a startup, you might be hired in one role and have to do something completely different the second day that you're hired. And so we want that experience, and we want you to take what you're taking in the classes into your internship experience. So not doing something at a big Google where you definitely have a specific job and role that you're hired for, but again, knowing what that fast-paced life and needing to pivot and learn. And also, we want to get an idea of what the impact you have on that startup is too, as well. And then the last track we have is our Global Entrepreneurship EIA Study Abroad program, which Daniela will talk about in a little bit, so I will share that, save that for her. But we look forward to having you in our classes. If you have any questions about the certificate, about any of our courses, feel free to reach out. And course coordinators, which I'll point out later in a little bit, they can also answer any questions as well regarding classes. And so now I'm going to turn it over to, we'll chat a little bit about summer opportunities. So I'll ask Mark Cyril, who is also the instructor for Startup Catalyst, to come up and chat a little bit about Summer Venture Lab.
Thanks, Jue. Sorry, I forgot I was supposed to talk about Summer Venture Lab. So let me ask you this. If you were going into a startup accelerator and somebody asked the question, accelerate means go faster, right? So that's the meaning of the word. So how do you make a startup go faster? Anybody have an idea? No sleep is interesting, right? How do you make a startup go faster? So no sleep, what that means is work harder. So the answer is wrong. Because most of us are already working as hard as we possibly can already. So the way we make a startup go faster, if you're not working hard enough, then sure, get off your ass and go get to work, right? I mean, that's a big part of it. But if you're already working as hard as you possibly can, the only way you can make your startup go faster is to work on the right thing. Work on the thing that's going to move you forward and not the thing that's not, and it's the right thing at the right time. So the point of the Startup Venture Lab, as with Startup Catalyst, is to help you figure out what you should be working on right now in your startup. So we take teams with who are actually working on actual startups. It's not you just use the word dabbling. It's not for people who are dabbling in entrepreneurship. It's for people who are being entrepreneurs. It's a 6-week summer program with 6 units. 6 units in 6 weeks. Think about that. That's the level of intensity. And we can get a lot accomplished. And if you're interested, who do you talk to? If you're interested, Ricardo Rodriguez will help you figure out the Hi, Ricardo. Will help you figure out the application process. That's Summer Venture Lab.
Yes. Perfect. Thank you, Mark. Excellent. And now I will hand it back over to our MC, Daniela, to talk a little bit about our Summer Abroad program.
Hi, guys. It's me again. Hello. So I just wanted to come up here and talk about the Berkeley EIA Summer Abroad program. And as you all know from my introduction earlier, I joined this SCET community through attending the Global Entrepreneurship and Innovation program last summer. So before applying to the program, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I heard about the program through a friend of mine who said, "This was the best summer of my life, do it." So I took his word for it, and it was one of the best decisions that I have ever made, truly. This program gives students the opportunity to create VC-backable startups from the ground up through receiving guidance from industry experts all over the world. On the program, I learned some of my life's most valuable lessons, made some of my best friends, and leaped far out of my comfort zone, all with so much unwavering support. Ken, Ani, and the EIA team have put a countless amount of effort into creating a learning environment that has provided us with intellectual challenges, positioned us for better career options, helped us develop mentoring relationships with mentors from all over the world, and has encouraged us to see the world. My time in this program was the most unique experience that I have ever had, and I use the lessons that I took from this program every single day. I won't spoil it too much, but just know that if you attend the Global Entrepreneurship and Innovation Summer Program, you may be in for one of the most transformative experiences of your life. And with that, I will hand it over to Ken to continue. Thank you.
Okay, so what am I doing? Okay. Okay. So last year when they asked me to do this portion, I apparently rambled a lot. So they've given me a speech to give you guys so that I don't ramble. But it's useful because usually the judges take way too long, so we have to buy ourselves a little time. But I'm gonna follow the script because I trust my team. All right, so gonna move to the next slide. All right, so this is the teaching award, and I love doing this as a teacher. I love acknowledging great teaching amongst our team, and so it's my distinct honor to announce this semester's SCET awards. Each semester we do seek nominations from students, from course coordinators, faculty, and staff to recognize an outstanding instructor and an outstanding course coordinator. Okay, and this semester we received a record number of nominations, and we are deeply grateful for that. By the way, you know, going off skip. At the end of every semester, we ask students, give us evaluations of the class, right? And maybe like 20% do that. For the, when we asked for nominations, we got more percentage of that for some of the professors. So it's really weird that when we ask for, hey, tell us who's your favorite, or, nominate your professor and talk about that, they'll write an entire essay about it. But when we ask you to do a formal evaluation, you avoid that. We need to talk, figure out how we can fix this problem. But just wanted to point out, this is weird that so many of our faculty got more nominations than they did evals at the end of the semester. All right, so Outstanding Instructor Award honors an educator who embodies excellence across multiple dimensions of teaching and engagement. This individual demonstrates outstanding expertise in their field, developing innovative curricula and employing effective pedagogical, I should know that word since I am a learning scientist, pedagogical practices that enhance learning. They have a remarkable ability to ignite students' interests and curiosity, making subject matters both accessible and inspiring in 15 weeks. That's hard. Beyond the classroom, they contribute meaningfully to the department, our institution here, and broader community, showcasing a commitment to service. That basically means we don't pay you that well. So they're here because they love being here. Their dedication to fostering diversity and inclusion enriches the educational experiences for all. And while our mentorship leaves a lasting impact on the students and colleagues that they support, they make the backbone of this program. So we are thrilled to present this semester's Outstanding Instructor Award to Vicki Howell. And do you want to play the video? She is not here, so we had her put together a video.
SCET. My name is Victoria
And you can't hear her,
Howell.
which is kind of
I am
probably
the
her worst
instructor
nightmare.
for our inaugural class on Applied Resilience, your Innovation Springboard. Behind me, you see the class. I have the class behind me because metaphorically they're behind me, and actually this class started with a bit of skepticism, relied on trust, and we ended in joy. It was a true group effort, individuals, partners, teams, cohort, as we really sought to build our resilience muscle. Our intention was to increase our ability to bounce, and we were able to do that as a group, and I know that this inaugural cohort helped me do it individually. Thank you so much for this recognition. Thank you to an incredible course coordinator, Maggie Chen. Wishing you all a good, happy, and healthy break. Hope to see you in the class in the future so we can bounce together.
So Vicki has demonstrated remarkable teaching excellence through her innovative class, and this was an experiment for us. It's the first time we had taught something like applied resilience. Imagine that topic being taught anywhere else but Berkeley, to be honest. And it was funded by a nonprofit called Intuitive Foundation, who has been a great supporter of our program and trying to create resilient entrepreneurs and innovators. And her teaching definitely goes beyond traditional methods, bringing experts into the room, but people who are experts at meditation, at thriving in chaos, survivalist techniques to help students really understand what it takes to make it through an entrepreneurial journey. So congratulations to Vicki, and thanks for your dedication to our students and the SCET mission. Vicki's been with the center for almost as long as I have, which is 16 years. So it's a great dedication. Okay, so now for the Outstanding Course Coordinator Award. And each semester, SCET classes are supported by a cohort of dedicated course coordinators. They tend to be alums from the previous year, so they know what they're getting into. And they're there to support students to go through a similar program. And the Outstanding Course Coordinator Award honors an individual who demonstrates all of these criteria. And as you can imagine, when you are a college student, you're also balancing this with beer on the weekends, or during the week, possibly, or something stronger, apparently, since this is Berkeley. This semester's Outstanding Course Coordinator Award goes to Maggie Chen. Go for great. Congratulations.
Thank you guys so much for this recognition. Being a part of SCET has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my Berkeley journey. SCET is so much more than just an innovation hub, but it's a space that fosters collaboration, creativity, as well as growth, as I've seen throughout the semester. I'm so grateful for my instructor, Vicki Howell, for her trust as well as her guidance throughout the semester, as well as a big thank you to Jue and Manon for helping me along the way. This award is so much more than just a recognition of my efforts, but also the incredible people at SCET that makes it so special. So thank you so much.
Fantastic. Okay. So this one's new. We've never done this before, but something happened this semester that really warranted us talking about this. So we have a new Innovation Education Champion Award. This semester, we are proud to introduce this award for a member of our community. They could have been an instructor, course coordinator, decal facilitator, a mentor, who embodies SCET's mission of empowering innovators to change the world and makes an extraordinary contribution to the campus innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem. And we want to bring up Sefer, I should have practiced your last name, Kusavahi. And so this guy's special because usually people are really eager to graduate and get the hell out, right? He decided to take one extra semester so he could teach a class. Okay, and he taught an entrepreneurship class that went so well this semester, we got inundated with recommendations from his students that he should get the instructor award, but we can't, he's still a student, so we couldn't give him that award. So we created a new one because we were so inspired by the just endless streams of you got to give him an award, got to give him an award. So we created something special for you because this is the level of dedication we've never seen before, and we're really proud to have you part of the community. All right, thank you. And you didn't know this was happening, right? You didn't know this was happening.
No, I wasn't.
So this is a surprise, actually, too. So, you want to say something?
Yeah, I don't have a speech or anything prepared, but thank you to Jue, thank you to Ken, thank you to Maher, my co-instructor, for helping make this course happen. And yeah, we put a lot of time into it, and I think the biggest thing was the students. Like, we teach a decal course, which is a 2-unit course. So a lot of times when you create this course, students don't show up. You bring guest speakers, nobody comes. But we just had like an incredible cohort of students who showed up like every week and put a lot of time into their projects. And I was very lucky to have that cohort. So yeah, thank you, everybody.
He and I were supposed to meet up a lot this semester, and we didn't get to, and so we wanted to surprise him, so I scheduled a lunch just to make sure he was going to be here so we could give him the award. So that was part of the planning. And then one last recognition we want to provide is for Jue. Yes, Jue. She recently received the UC Berkeley 2024 Advising Innovation Award. This prestigious campus award, it's across campus, honors individuals who have made an outstanding impact on students, student support programs, and the broader student services community through innovation and excellence in advising. Jue's dedication to fostering connections and building community within SCET is evident in everything she does, from developing inclusive programming to organizing impactful events like this one that we're celebrating today. I was the first person to put one of these on in my class, and it did not look like this. It was a tiny classroom, and we had 3 judges. So the work that Jue has done to make this an event that people spend their Fridays coming to is a testament to your dedication, and we really appreciate that. Her work has profoundly supported SCET students and the Cal entrepreneurship community. And so please join me in congratulating Jue on this.
Thank you, thank you. But I would also like to give a shout out to, as Ken mentioned, our course staff as well. Here is a list. If there's decal facilitators, if you don't mind standing up to be recognized. To be a decal facilitator, Maher, Sapir. To be a decal facilitator with SCET, it's not just filling out paperwork and moving forward. We have workshops to prepare you to make sure you're integrating the principles that we want in our courses, and regular monthly meetings. And so appreciate all of our decal facilitators' dedication to continuing the education that we have in the classroom, as well as our course coordinators. So let's give another round of applause for our course coordinators. If our course coordinators don't mind standing up, Juan Diego over here, Amy, Manon Anderson. Again, our course coordinators, they are ambassadors of our program that we do here. So if anybody is interested in taking classes in the future, these are the great people that you can talk to. Learn more about the classes that we have to offer, their certificate, and also ways to get involved. I'm the one that works to hire with the instructors, our course coordinators. So if you're interested in being a course coordinator for fall 2025, be on the lookout. Make sure you're on the listserv so you get those announcements. and really looking forward to meeting you all and learning more. And now we'll hand it over to...
I'm supposed to plug this. In 2025, SCET turns 20. So we're going to... yeah. Which is a really big deal for us. And so we're going to have a series of celebrations. We're going to bring back alums, supporters, and sponsors of the center. And it's going to be quite a year because we're also going to be moving into the new building that's, that's being built on top of Bechtel. That's supposed to be done in April, hopefully. You know, with the weather, we don't know. But so hopefully this will return back to Bechtel. This whole competition will be in the new building soon. So join us for the celebrations next year.
All right, before we announce the Collider Cup student winners, I want to invite the judges to be able to sit here in the front. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the Alumni Expo that was held before today's Collider Cup. The Alumni Expo champion today will be invited to the stage to pitch. If you missed it, for the second time in Collider Cup history, right before our event, we hosted an Alumni Expo where SCET alumni founders presented their startups and attendees voted on their favorite alumni team. All these alumni are students who have taken SCET classes in the past and have used their project to develop their entrepreneurial journey. These projects don't have to be a project that was developed in an SCET class, they just have to be an SCET alumni to participate. The winning team has the opportunity to interview with Pair VC, which will give them the chance to win $25,000 uncapped safe investment. Many of these founders are previous Collider Cup participants, and you can learn more about each team on the Alumni Expo webpage. Without further ado, this year's Alumni Expo winner is Code Blue AI. This team is providing early stroke detection and rapid response.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Ashmita, and I'm here making stroke damage obsolete. The decision to build Code Blue was very personal for me. My grandfather was hit with a series of strokes before I was born that robbed him of his speech, his memory, and his identity. And I've heard stories of the man he used to be, but in my memory, he is helpless, unable to recognize even his own family members. So in 2021, when half my dad's face started drooping, we were understandably terrified. We thought he was having a stroke. But in spite of knowing the signs and seeing them happen to his own dad, my dad didn't go to the hospital either. And my family's struggles with stroke are not unique. Actually, strokes are prevalent and on the rise, with 1 in 4 people worldwide expected to have a stroke in their lifetimes. Yet, despite this, 62% of people cannot identify the major signs. And this is a problem, because if you can identify a stroke within the first hour of the symptoms appearing, you can stave off that long-term damage or death. But if people don't know to go to the hospital, just like my dad, how are they going to get treatment? And this is where we come in. So Code Blue delivers passive stroke monitoring. We recognize that people are on their devices for over 10 hours a day, and that 97% of people own at least one. So we meet people where they are, using their existing devices and plugging in our own camera and mic plugin to automatically detect the signs of stroke and make sure they get help immediately when symptoms appear. This is just an example. If you want to see the demo, come meet me after. But basically, this is an example of it being plugged into a laptop running in the background of a Zoom meeting. For us, privacy is a very big concern. We make sure to protect people's data by being HIPAA compliant, also by making sure we delete all data off the back end as soon as we finish detecting. Now, our key differentiator is that we are the only ones in this space that prioritize in-home detection. We've built our proprietary model off of data that's not publicly available and are augmenting it as we speak. But we're the only people who handle the problem of getting people to the hospital in the first place. Now, this is a really impactful problem, and we're aware that it will make a difference for billions of people. But what about the spend? It actually costs insurance companies $40 billion every year in costs for each, like, when people have strokes in the U.S. So the way that we get reimbursement is through insurance reimbursement. There is an existing medical billing code for remote patient monitoring, code 99454. It's already covered in policy by major providers like United Healthcare and Kaiser Permanente. So we charge them under this billing code at a fee of $50 per patient per month as set by the physician fee schedule. And even if we corner just 1% of a smallish insurance company like Kaiser Permanente, that's 125,000 users. We focus on the people who are the most likely to have a stroke. So doctors prescribe it in office as they would with any other remote patient monitoring tool like a glucose monitor, and charge insurance for reimbursement. The onboarding happens in the office with the doctor and you link your constituent devices. After that, we start sampling. Now, why would insurance pay for this? It's 10 times less expensive for insurance. This we figured out through interviews with our payers. But we'll drive prescriptions through incentives to doctors and prescribe them to high-risk patients. Now, this is our health tech powerhouse. We have extensive experience across the health tech sphere, from former research at UCI to a PhD in equitable health technology. And these are our amazing advisors on everything from R&D to strategy to the clinical study. Now, we've also made many milestones towards patent approval and our strategic partnerships. We've already filed our utility patent. Our provisional patent is accepted already. We're actually running our pilot study with our first patients at UCSF right now. And we've won some non-dilutive prize funding, which has helped pay for all of this. We're also supported by all of the following orgs, including getting second in launch very recently and Skydeck Pad 13. So we're raising 250 with the following goals. Continue our current pilot study, hire an additional engineer and a regulatory officer, and in February, begin our second study with 100 patients this time, beginning to build our sales pipeline at conferences. In June, we'll apply for our FDA 510K clearance, and we project to have that by September, projecting our first 1K customers with 600K in sales, starting with our partners at UCSF. Now, we hope you'll join us in making stroke damage obsolete, and so no one has to go through what my family has. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, we have the winners. But before we announce the winners, we would love for the judges to come out on stage and say a couple words about the whole process and the Kaleido Cup so far. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Just have one of you guys.
Oh, no,
I'll just say a quick thing. No, I got it.
Here.
All right. Hello. I know we're all eager to hear who's winning today, but I just wanted to kind of reiterate what was shared at the start before the pitches began, which is that, like, yes, it's a competition, but everyone's really a winner here today already. I mean, they did win, you know, the individuals kind of coming through the classes and all that, but really, like, student entrepreneurship, I don't know, it's a really special thing, and I think getting up here in front of all of your peers, in front of all your professors, and sharing all the stuff that you're working on takes a lot of guts, a lot of heart. Everyone has made such incredible progress on their companies already. Like, these are real businesses that you all are building, and so it was a tough deliberation that we did back there. And so yeah, we just want to say a quick congratulations to all the students. Keep working, keep going. It's great. Yeah.
I'm first going to announce the People's Choice Award. So this is the team that won by your vote. And let's do a quick little drum roll. The People's Choice winner is One Village.
Pose for the photo. And then you'll do most innovative as well.
The next award is for the most innovative technology, and that winner is Rescue Site. Please come up on stage.
Congratulations, everyone. Congratulations. Congratulations. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and announce our third place winner. Can I get a drum roll, please? Our third place winner is Bioject. If you guys want to come up to the stage. Okay. Congratulations. Thank you so much. All right, and our second place winner is, drum roll please, Levitree. Congratulations. Congrats.
All right, I get to announce the first place winner. Let's do a big drum roll. The first place winner is One Village.
I think great startups solve their own problem and a problem that a lot of other people have. They move quickly. You said, we started this with a WhatsApp experiment on day one, right? And they create massive markets that we didn't even see could be there, and we think that One Village has all of those things. And so congratulations, One Village.
Have all the
Congratulations, everyone!
Congrats!
all the participants, please come up on stage.
Okay. So what happens now?
We just take pictures, and then we get food.
Wait, fire.
Yeah. Can we get you guys on stage? Hi, Mary.
Huh? I just have my friend Nini's iPad. I know. Love him. Hey! Good job, Sam. Your pitch was great. Thank you.
You're interested in doing more stuff as well.
Started and ran for about 15 years. I came over to PRVC 4 months ago.
Okay. So are you Berkeley alum or no?
I'm not.
Okay,
I live in Berkeley. And my wife's a Berkeley alum. And so, go pick. I went to Brown, so go there.
Okay. One of our instructors went to Brown. Oh, great. Yeah.
Oh, I do know. I've looked up the class.
I guess I think that's the biggest, that guy is from Brown.
Yeah, in my year.
Let's say he dropped out of his year. Well, we looked at anyway, because I always ask that because I can go
should do a selfie here.
Yes.
That was so awesome. Unbelievable. Awesome. Yeah.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hey, everyone. Come on stage, and we'll do a big group photo, okay? Everyone come on the stage, please. What?
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Maybe it won't work. Are these on?
Connect on LinkedIn.
Yeah, of course.
I don't have my phone on me, but if you...
What's your LinkedIn?
Thank you. I appreciate your kind words.
Yeah, of course. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Does it work? I don't think it works. Hello? Nah. Kind of. Okay, come on stage, especially if you pitch today. Take the networking outside. All right, let's do a group photo. On the stage, please. Group photo. If you're networking, you can go out there. Group photo in here. Group photo? Go ahead. Maggie up there. Tyler up there. Jess, not you. You're taking the photo. I don't know how well it works, right? But
I don't think it's...
Hey, how are you?
Hello.
All right, group photo. All right, group photo. We almost there? Especially if you pitch today, please go up there. Hey, how are you? Nice to see you. Mark, you're like a winner. You have to go up there. You have to go up. You're like a winner. Hey, how are you? All right. Looking good. Get up there for the group photo. All right. Thank you. We have our photographers here. All right. Looking better. Very beautiful. All right, networking's in the atrium.
Core staff,